So that's a good thing, right? Like 18 days of 8-hour shifts only, barely a month. And I finished my RPN. What happened to my RN application? What happened was that it got basically a score of non-comparable. I was just like almost there for the comparable, somewhat comparable thing. And with that, I had to do a lot of stuff. Either I go through the OSCE and get a very good grade, or I go back to school, which is another 3 years, and I would still have to do the what you call supervised practice experience program, or what people call the SPEP, and do 400 hours of work. And this SPEP or SPEP, you are either usually you are paid the minimum wage. In worst case scenario, you don't get paid at all. You don't get paid. But I was lucky enough to find a hospital that accepted me for $20 per hour, which is very good already. That's above minimum wage here in Canada. And after those things, that's in the non-comparable for RN. After going back to school for 3 years, and then doing 400 hours of as SPEP, that's when I would take the exam, the NCLEX, and then that's when they would certify me as a registered nurse. So I started my RPN. I was granted a chance to take the exam. I got the authorization to take the test or the ATT on May, I think May, and then I only had like 4 months, if I remember correctly, 4 months, because it was like April. No, 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 March, April, May, June, July, August. Oh no, 5 months. So at least I was given only 5 months to file for the exam as soon as possible, and so I decided to take my exam on June, my birthday month, and I passed. So I passed the NCLEX practical nurse exam, and I couldn't wait for the RN. Like I didn't have the time to go back to school. So what I decided was I started asking a lot of people, what if I already passed the NCLEX? Would it make a difference? And some people said yes, some people said no, you still have to go back to school and stuff. And finally, I was able to find someone who said that if I just pass the NCLEX, then I would get waived for the education, waived for the English exam, and I would only have to do the supervised practice experience program. And that's what I did. So I applied through Alberta, because at that time Alberta had a very easy way to get the NCLEX. As long as you are a Filipino and you pass the nursing board exam in the Philippines and work in the Philippines for quite some time, you are allowed to take the NCLEX. Before they had this they allowed me to take the exam because my experience was 5 years ago. They had this limit of 5 years. Unfortunately, Alberta changed their rules as of October 1, that they now lowered it to 2 years, and for every year beyond 2 years, you would have to complete several stuff. Like 2 years is the limit. After 2 years, if you haven't worked in 3 years time, then you have to undergo 6 months or a bridging program. 4 years, you have to go back to school for 1 year to 2 years in a Canadian accredited English program, nursing program. Beyond 4 years, you have to go back to school. That's the new requirement in Alberta, as far as I could remember. Okay, they might have changed it again because I think they changed it a couple of times before they settled on what I saw.